What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Bama After Dark. I'm your host, Jake Thomas, as always, and good evening, everybody. Welcome in. Big week this week. Vandy's on the docket, but let's go back real quick. Just first, 5, 10, 15 minutes. Look at the Georgia game. And I want to talk about some positives that I've seen out of that game that I think is going to help us moving forward, especially in this game here. First off, got to give credit where credit's due. We have, as Bama fans, and I'm sure everybody that that I have talked to, and everybody out there has pretty much crapped on the offensive line and how they played this year so far. Rick and Bonnie says, "Howdy, Jake." Rick and Bonnie, thanks for joining as always. Welcome in. But yeah, the offensive line, got to give credits to you. I think they only gave up 3 pressures, if I'm not mistaken, all night long, and just pretty much had a clean pocket for Ty to work out of. And then, as we talked about in our review show live after the game, that just allowed Ty to pick everybody apart, Georgia apart, just find his guy in the open, and get the ball to him. So the offensive line, I think they still got some work, to do to improve the running game. But I think the running game will slowly come on as the season progresses. Now that we got Jam Miller back, now that we're kind of getting a different look at the offensive line and different packages and everything. So I really feel like the rushing attack will be there when it's needed. As of right now, it's not really need to be a highlight of this offense because they can do, they can do whatever they want to right now. Regan Bonnie Proctor's a good wide receiver. I hope we line him up in the backfield, give him the ball this week, just running right up through the gut. You talking about opening up a hole? Good God. Anyway, yeah, that was a sweet play design, and I think they were either going to go to him on the opposite side, or they were going to move him, and they actually put him in motion to the right side on a different play that we had a false start on. I don't know if he was planning to block on that end or to perhaps get a little screen pass like he had whenever he caught it. I think that was in the second quarter. So yeah, I'm interested to see if we do anything like that the rest of the year with Proctor. But more positives on the defensive side of the ball, or on the defensive side. I know the defense, they look terrible on the rush defense. I have seen guys step up and make plays that are not starters. Yanze Pierre. Pierre is playing he's probably been one of the most consistent linebackers that we've had, and he's been playing. He played a good bit in injured time, while Q was hurt last week, and he's played really, really well, and I expect to see a lot more of that because Pierre, I think, is going to be on the field a good bit moving forward. He's really good. He's doing great things right now. Yes, yeah, you're right, Rick and Bonnie. We've got to set the edge. We'll talk about that when we look at Vandy, but one more positive I think is just I really see an overall improvement in this team. There's a more fire underneath them. There's a more edge underneath them, and they're playing like we know how Alabama can play. And if they continue that, they've got to maintain it. That's the biggest thing with teams like this. They've got to maintain it from day one to whenever the season ends. It's got to be maintained every single time. And this team has the ability to do that. But we saw what this team did last year after a big Georgia win. They went to Vandy and they laid an egg. You get another big win in LSU later on the season, and then the next week you lay an egg against Oklahoma. So you were in the game against Tennessee, but could not get a timely stop and could not move the ball offensively when needed. And you pretty much laid an egg in that game and lost. So this team has the ability to be legit and be elite. It's just got to come from the guys to have that feeling, to have that edge, and have that fire underneath them for the rest of the way. But I do see a little bit more improvement on that, and I'm starting to see a little bit more edge coming out of Kalen DeBoer. So I think he's starting to get more comfortable, and he knows, he's starting to feel that pressure and knows what that pressure feels like to be the head coach at Alabama. There's probably 2 or 3 places that you have immense pressure as a head coach in college football right now, and that's probably Alabama, Ohio State, and Notre Dame, and I would probably say USC and Florida. So 5 really, because those guys, and that's the standard that that's how their teams are ran. They want to be the best, and that's how Alabama's been for years. Kevin DeBoer is starting to know what that pressure feels like. He's starting to know how to handle that pressure, and he's starting to have more of an edge about him. And I love it moving forward for this team, because when the Kevin DeBoer is fired up, it gets his guys fired up, and I think he knows that now. Yeah, Rick and Bonnie, he does have a little swagger about him now. I love that he does, and the other night he was up in. I don't think he was really he wasn't like dogging him or anything, but he was just like whenever Kane Womack called that zero blitz and there was no zero cover, there's nobody, no safety help, and he was like, man, what was that? Why'd you call that? He was just trying to understand where Kane Womack was thinking there in that situation, but he's getting on the players. I mean, you saw Xavier Brown; he had a crucial holding penalty in the end zone, and it eventually led to a Georgia touchdown. He pulled him off the field for 2 or 3 plays. What happened to Ryan Williams? He pulled him off the field 2 or 3 plays. I think Ryan was out 2 or 3 series. Kevin DeBoer is not afraid to do that now. I think last year he was kind of dictating, letting the players dictate kind of sort of how, and be player coaches. Now, I understand you have to, it's a fine line. You want the players to respect the coach, but you can't have the players run all over the coach. And I felt like they was trying to kind of do that with him being the new guy on campus, because Saban wasn't going to allow that. But now Kevin DeBoer has full control of that locker room, and it's a different Alabama team. It's a much scarier Alabama team. So moving forward to this week, Vandy's on the docket. Which QB is going to lead their team to victory? Diego Pavia is for 2 years now has got Vandy to upper echelon of the SEC. Now I think they won 8 games last year. So that's big for Vandy. Can he continue this hype train? Can he continue playing out of his mind like he has the last, 2 years now, really, year and a half? And can he replicate the success he had against Alabama last year? I don't think he can. I think if right here, Rick and Bonnie, this right here, Vandy's going to run a lot of jet sweeps. Bama's got to have to set the edge in order to keep those jet sweeps from going outside and gaining big yards. With what they do and how we're starting to play defense a little bit, especially how we move Bray Hubbard around so much, and running situations where he's kind of like a third linebacker, another linebacker on the, at the line of scrimmage. They didn't see Bray Hubbard last year. And they've seen film of him, what he does. But until you get on the field and understand how Bray Hubbard plays, film don't really do justice. This kid is all over the field. He's a ball hawk, and he's made up for the inexcusable effort that he showed in week 1, and he knows that by now. I'm not going to harp on it any longer. He's made up for it, and this kid is balling. He's going to have a big game, and if he gets a chance to get in the backfield on some of these misdirections, on some of these little jet sweeps, he's got to make the play, and that goes along with Damani Jackson setting the edge. That goes along with Yanze Pierre setting the edge. That goes along with whoever else needs to set the edge and force that ball back in where most of your bodies are. If Alabama can do that, I'm not worried about Pavia passing us. I think Alabama's in top 5 in passing efficiency on defense this year. They're not giving up like 120-something yards through the air, and I don't see Pavia throwing it that much because what they do is the misdirections. They try to get you to a 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1 type situation so they can move the chains. He's not going to, throw the ball like a crazy person on you. That's not in their offense. Now he can do it. He's done it before, but I just don't think if Alabama gets to a big lead, and I'm not going to say they are, but if Alabama gets to a big lead and they have to play catch up, I don't think this Vandy team is built to play catch up. I think they're more built to build a lead and contain and sustain a lead. So it's going to be crucial. Their first series, we really need to get off the ball hot like we did against Georgia. If they get the ball first, we got to stop them. The first series, get the ball, move it down the field, score a touchdown, give them back, get another 3 and out, get the ball back, score again. If Alabama goes up 14-0, then Vandy's going to start reeling a little bit. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But Ty Simpson, another quarterback, which team is going to lead this team to victory? Being an Alabama homer, I'm going to pick Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson right now is playing probably the best ball in the country right now, probably outside of Trinidad Chambliss at Ole Miss. But for a full-time starter, Ty Simpson's on a roll right now. And he's not making mistakes. He's thrown 11 touchdown passes. He has like 3 or 4 rushing touchdowns. He doesn't make mistakes, and that's key. The reason why he hasn't made any mistakes is he's had a clean pocket, especially last week. This offensive line has got to replicate that this week as well. I guarantee Vandy's going to try to give him some different looks, try to do some stunts to get somebody back there because honestly, Ty really hasn't had anybody to, get after him yet. Besides that Florida State game, none of SEC, nobody really got to him last week. So if Ty has time to throw and allow Ryan Williams, allow Germ, allow Isaiah Horton, allow Lazier Brooks, allow Rico Scott, allow, Josh Cuevas, somebody to get downfield and find a soft spot in their zone, he's got it all day. And he's going to have a big game. And I think Ty in this game can kind of replicate what he did last week. Yeah, I agree, Rick and Bonnie. I think he may have to get the ball quickly. I think there will be some design plays to get the ball off. And one thing I really haven't seen yet, but we'll do some screens for sure. But one thing I hadn't really seen yet, and we know Ty is kind of a dual threat quarterback. I hadn't seen really any design runs. Still waiting on that to happen out into this offense. I think it's going to be another wrinkle once they start doing that for teams to have to pick up on. But um, our stable of wide receivers and tight ends, they're just playing above and beyond right now. Now Ryan Williams does have the drop, several drops. It's a mental thing. If he can work on that, I mean, the kid's oozing with talent. You can't keep him off the field too long. But Jerm is playing great right now. Brooks had a really good night the other night. I think he caught a couple passes. Josh Cuevas is playing really well, and he's a Kyle Edwards. Kyle Edwards coming on at tight end. He's played really good right now. So we have the guys to be very, very dominant on offense in this game. Vandy did give up 35 to Utah State, and they've given up several games. They've given up a lot of points to lower echelon type teams. So there's going to be points scored. How high of a score? I'm thinking the spread, I think it was like 10.5 last time I saw. I'm thinking Alabama's going to win at least by 14. So I'm going to say it's going to be like in the 45-48 to 34-31 range. So I really believe Alabama will make enough stops defensively in this game this year to allow that explosive offense that has been clicking since week 2, honestly, get them on the field and let them score just more points than Vandy. And I really feel like the defense, I really want to leave Vandy in the 20s, but I think it's going to be at least like 31 to 40, 45 to 31. I'll say somewhere in there, 48, 34. I think Alabama's going to win this game, and then they get out of Tuscaloosa, and then next week, no offense to Vandy, I think it's going to be the challenge. So we got to get through this week. We can't look ahead. That's the thing that hurt this team last year is looking ahead, and I don't think they're going to do it this year. Rick and Bonnie said home field and crowd would be key. You know, Pavia come out today and was talking about how he needs Vandy fans to, you know, to be loud, and if he says that the team can hear them over the Alabama fans, pretty much, you know, I'm paraphrasing that he will be okay and they'll be okay. I need this student section. I need Bryant Denny to be rocking at 2:30 Saturday. I need it to be loud. I need everybody to be proud. And I need it to be on the Richter scale of an earthquake loud, because I think that's what it's going to take to win this game is home field advantage and Alabama being, you know, very confident and very good and very explosive on offense so far is what's going to be key. And like I said, I think the defense, you know, makes a couple of stops that flips the tide and flips the script a little bit and allows us to get a 14-point win. Rick and Bonnie, what do you think? What do you think the final score will be? And if you got any other questions, I'm here to talk about it as well. A few beers might help. Yeah, that's true. I think I haven't looked, but on SEC After Dark, I think me and Cassidy are the only two that picked Vandy. Picked Alabama. I think everybody else picked Vandy. I haven't looked in the last couple of days, but I know when I was putting our picks in, Steve, Becky, Bossman Hammer had all picked Vandy. Mike hadn't put his out yet. Jeff hadn't put his, and Corey hadn't put his yet, in which Corey's probably going to pick Vandy. Whew. 35-27, Rick. If it's that close, I'm going to be. I mean, it very well could be, but I'm going to be stressing it if it's that close. I just think Alabama's going to be able to score more than 35 because Vandy's defense has not been great this year, and Alabama's offense has been explosive. Now, the second half of last week's game, it's kind of a can't really say it was explosive, but it still made enough plays and made the plays that, it needed down the stretch to win that game. But I think Alabama will score in the second half in this game, probably have their points in the second half, I feel like. I'm sticking to 48-34, 45-31, somewhere in there. How many passes will yeah, how many Williams drop? Ryan, I'm hoping don't drop any. But that remains to be seen. I love the kid. I love what his enthusiasm for the game. I love what he does in the field. But once he gets past that mental block of got to watch it through, catching and watching it through the hands. Kid's going to be legit, and he's going to be a stud in the NFL one of these days. But anyway, I think I'm hoping he don't have any. I'm going to bold prediction he don't have any, and I think he's going to have a big game. I just really think he's going to have a big game because I don't think we really got him the ball much last year. Give me just a second. I want to pull up the stats from last year's game and see if what the box score was. I do not remember. I don't think Ryan had the ball much. Got the ball much. So I mean, he had 3 receptions for 82 yards. I mean, it's not bad. Jerm had 3 for 70. Really feel like both of them guys are gonna have a big game. Miller in this game last year had 45 yards rushing at 9 yards per carry on 5 attempts. Man, that's a tall tale sign right there. That's another thing we probably need to touch on real quick. Time of possession in that game last year, Alabama had it less than 18 minutes. Vandy had it for 42 minutes and 8 seconds. It's kind of hard to win a ball game when you only have the ball for 18 minutes. So Alabama's going to have to do the clockwork, control the ball Saturday. Don't let Vandy's offense get 40 minutes or plus this week because it could turn bad. Alabama did score 35 points in those 18 minutes, but still. And if you think about it, it was 40 to 35 was the final. We threw a pick 6, in the very first series. So I think we're going. I think Alabama can control the clock this year or this week. And Riggamboni, yeah, I mean you make the ground game. Yeah, yes, it does need to get better, and I think it is getting better. But remember, the first two drives we had against Georgia last week was 14 play drives, and it killed a lot of clock. And we threw the ball a good bit in those drives. And when we went like 13 of 18 on third down, we had a lot of third down situations, but we converted them. So if you have long 14, 15 play drives and you're converting third downs and have a high third down percentage, and with a ground game, it needs to be. It don't have to be perfect. It just needs to be good enough to make the defense honest, where they can't drop 8 in coverage and just make you one dimensional. So I really feel like the ground game is going to improve as the season goes. So we'll keep an eye on that. I really think it's going to be another week where you're going to see Miller get his feet under him a little bit better. He's going to have a big game. I think Raleigh's going to have. I think he's due for a breakout run. So I think it's coming along. It may take another few weeks, but offensively right now, other than that, everything's clicking. Offensive line's playing 1,000 times better, and receivers are still making plays, and Todd Simpson's playing out of his mind. So if everything like that continues, we're going to be good in this game and moving forward. But anyway, Rick and Bonnie, I need to get off of here so we can all go jump over to Biscuits and SEC and watch them boys. And like my little shout out real quick, go follow everybody on I'm sure Rick and Bonnie you have, but go follow everybody on the After Dark Network. Off season After Dark with Mike Huseman does a great job. Corey has the Regular Guys podcast on there with Israel Troop. They do a great job. Biscuits and SEC with Boss Man Hammer. Those guys are killing it as always. And of course, I'm on that channel as well. Bama After Dark. This is growing. Hey, I missed those 2 weeks, but I'm getting back in the swing of things. And of course, on Thursday nights, we all collectively come together and bring you a 1-hour special of SEC After Dark right here on this platform, on this channel, the After Dark Network. We have a great time. Thank you all for listening. I'll be back. I think me and Stacey's recording for Tide Talk probably tonight. It will be released. This is Wednesday night, so it'll be released Thursday morning. So make sure you see, you follow that this in the morning and hear what we have to say. I'll get some more in-depth talk on that show about it. So you guys have a great evening. I will be back next week. Hopefully we'll talk about another Bama victory. But until then, y'all stay safe. Roll Tide. Good evening. And I'll see y'all next time.